He was the dictator who plunged the world into war and unimaginable darkness. But even a man like Adolf Hitler harbored physical weaknesses, personal anxieties, and terrifying medical secrets. Who were the men behind Hitler's closed doors? Were they medical geniuses or complicit enablers of evil? What truly transpired in those private rooms where Hitler received his treatments? And what became of their fates, the personal doctors of the Führer, once World War II finally came to an end? Today, we delve into one of history's most unsettling chapters, exploring the chilling secrets and investigating whether medicine itself can become a tool of destruction. Brace yourself for a disturbing journey into the heart of the Nazi power structure. If you're ready to uncover these lesser-known truths, make sure to hit that subscribe button now and join our community of history enthusiasts. Adolf Hitler, the 20th century's most notorious dictator, was surrounded by a dedicated team of personal physicians. These individuals not only tended to his health, but also served as unique witnesses, observing firsthand the physical and mental decline of the Nazi leader. But when World War II ended and the Third Reich collapsed, what became of these doctors of the devil? What awaited them after the war? 1. Theodor Morell, the doctor of miracle injections. Among Hitler's physicians, Theodor Morell, 1886 to 1948, was the most prominent and controversial. From a relatively obscure dermatologist and venereologist, Morell became Hitler's primary personal physician from 1937 until the final days in the Führer bunker. Hitler's relationship with Morell was strangely deep. Hitler blindly trusted Morell, calling him a medical genius and the only one who could cure his ailments. Conversely, many other officers and doctors in Hitler's entourage regarded Morell as a quack, a sycophant, and were disgusted by his body odor. Morell was notorious for injecting Hitler with a complex cocktail of various drugs, vitamins, hormones, and even narcotics like Pervitin, a form of methamphetamine, cocaine, and opiates. These injections helped Hitler maintain energy and alertness initially, but over time contributed to his growing dependency and potentially to his physical and mental deterioration. His fate after the war. As the Soviet Red Army advanced into Berlin, Morell fled the Führer bunker in late April 1945. He was apprehended by the U.S. military in Bavaria on May 23, 1945. After 2 years of internment and extensive interrogation by U.S. intelligence forces, including an assessment of whether he was a war criminal, Morell was released in 1947 due to a lack of direct evidence that he had participated in war crimes. However, Morell's health had severely deteriorated, partly due to his stressful years with Hitler. He died at home in 1948, still widely scorned by society and largely seen as the man who drugged Hitler. 2. Karl Brandt, the powerful doctor and architect of death. Karl Brandt, 1904 to 1948, was a distinguished surgeon who also served Hitler from 1934. Unlike Morell, Brandt was an enthusiastic SS member and an early adherent of the Nazi Party. He quickly rose to become one of Hitler's close confidants and was entrusted with many significant non-medical positions, including Reich Commissioner for Health and Sanitation. What made Brandt particularly infamous was his central role in the Nazi T4 euthanasia program, Action T4. This was a systematic mass murder program targeting the mentally ill, congenitally disabled, and those deemed unworthy of life or unproductive. Brandt signed orders for the execution of thousands of people and directly oversaw the program's implementation, also participating in inhumane medical experiments on concentration camp prisoners. His fate after the war. Karl Brandt was one of the Nazi doctors tried at the Nuremberg doctors' trial in 1946-1947. He was charged with war crimes, crimes against humanity, and membership in a criminal organization, the SS. Brandt argued that his actions were for medical benefit and service to the nation, but the court rejected his defense. Karl Brandt was sentenced to death and hanged on June 2, 1948. 3. Erwin Giesing, the ENT specialist. Erwin Giesing, 1904 to 1975, was Hitler's ENT, ear, nose, and throat, specialist. He was summoned in 1944 after Hitler was injured in the July 20th plot assassination attempt. Giesing was the one who prescribed cocaine to Hitler for pain relief and sinus clearance, contributing to Hitler's reliance on stimulants. His fate after the war. Giesing was captured by the U.S. military in May 1945 and interrogated multiple times. Like Morell, he was not charged with criminal offenses, but was considered part of Hitler's medical entourage. He was released in 1947 and continued to practice medicine in West Germany. He later wrote a memoir about his experiences with Hitler. Conclusion. Diverse fates amidst lost morality. The fates of Hitler's personal doctors present a complex picture of ethics and responsibility in wartime. Some, like Karl Brandt, directly became murderers under the guise of medicine, facing justice and punishment. Others, like Theodor Morell or Erwin Giesing, though not directly committing genocidal crimes, served a brutal regime, witnessed or even contributed to the dictator's decline, and subsequently had to live with the burden of their past. Their stories are not just about individuals, but also about how medicine and science were exploited under a totalitarian regime, leaving agonizing lessons about the line between serving science and
We
serving
compile and
evil.
edit the video's content from reliable sources, such as Wikipedia and major news outlets, offering an objective and multifaceted perspective. Warning: this content is presented within an educational and historical framework. We do not support or endorse hatred toward any group, nor do we promote violence. Our aim is to reflect on these events to ensure they are never repeated, never again. All images and content have been modified in accordance with YouTube's advertiser policies. The images in the video are for illustrative purposes only and do not necessarily perfectly match the events or content presented. Thank you.